Hey guys, welcome back. It's Hazzi here again, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about something that seems a little elusive in our industry, and that's a work-life balance. Now I get asked about this topic a fair bit, and I don't know if it's because folks are looking at my social media feeds, sort of seeing me traveling and doing some of the things that I enjoy, that there's this assumption that I've got this work-life balance thing down. Now, I'm no Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week guy, but I have managed to avoid letting my real estate business become all-consuming. Now, it's easy to carve out time for fun or family when you're selling 5 or 10 or even 15 homes a year, no question. But how do you operate at the highest level, generating hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars in commission revenue while maintaining a lifestyle that fulfills you? So freedom for me is my #1 value. So I've made it my mission to structure my business in such a way that I'm able to help the most amount of people and still be free to design and truly live the lifestyle of my dreams. I'm going to share with you how I've designed a highly effective, highly leveraged 35 to 40-hour work week for myself, where I'm able to consistently, year after year, personally help 50 or so clients buy or sell, and lead a team that is selling over 400 homes a year, generating millions of commission income. Now that's not all I've got on my plate either. I've actually vertically integrated my company into property management, development, construction. I lead a real estate investment network, and I manage a private equity fund for investors. Now I know this sounds like a lot, and it is, but it can all be done in 40 hours a week or less once you understand leverage. Now, people make the mistake of assuming that I must be working around the clock in order to accomplish all of this. And I'm okay with that illusion because, it shields me from many people's self-serving requests for meetings or lengthy emails they're expecting a reply from. But you know what? I actually am busy, but I'm busy leading the life by my design. So what's the problem in our industry? Well, first of all, I'd like to go on record saying that if anyone knows the guy who was the first person to put 24-hour pager on their business card, send them to me because I'm going to give them a little tar and feathering for all of us. What other self-respecting profession would possibly make themselves available at 11 p.m. at night? Do you think you stand a chance of getting your accountant to pop over to the house after dinner to discuss your income taxes? Hey, why don't you ask your lawyer if he'll do a consultation with you at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning? Now, a lot of agents believe that being a slave to our smartphone or to our clients or to our colleagues is just what we signed up for. Unfortunately in our industry, there are many agents who just trade on their availability or their willingness to facilitate things at all hours. Now, this is the value that they provide, a willingness to be led around by the ear, letting the client dictate the process, and also they have a lockbox card. So how do you draw your line in the sand? Well, make the decision to become a true expert. Learn to lead people through a consultative process, the key word being lead, which means you explain to clients that you have a proven process to bring them through a 5-star experience, they're in great hands, and this is how we do it here. Now, it's a bit of a paradigm shift. For me, I made the decision to become an expert. I found a niche in investment real estate. I studied, applied it in my own portfolio, paid the tuition, then I got the accreditations, and then I made it my mission to bring so much value and expertise to clients that they're just willing to wait for my schedule to open up. If you do this right, people are willing to not only wait, but will line up for your services. Clients are willing to forego showings on weekends and respect your family time if they see enough value in you. Trust me when I tell you that clients will respect you more when you tell them that weekends and weeknights are for your family. You can't expect the public or your clientele to respect your schedule when you don't personally respect it. Without a schedule that you adhere to, including honoring your personal commitments, you have no hope in creating the life-work balance that you crave and deserve. If it must happen on the weekend, people will understand and appreciate when you connect them with an eager junior associate to get out and look at properties during those times that you're not available. They'll understand that if something comes up that requires your expertise, be it analyzing a property or negotiations, that you are there for them as soon as you're back in the office. An early mentor gave me the gift of telling me this little pearl of wisdom. He said, AJ, if you are good, they will wait. Now this has been a bit of a mantra of mine ever since. So find a niche, get great at it, and own it. I want to talk about getting in alignment. There are 5 circles that you need to focus equally on. Contrary to what many people think, spending all of your time in the business circle of your life does not actually make you more effective. You need to be firing on all cylinders. This means your family life needs to be good first and foremost. From there, your health needs to be great. This means exercise and the right nutrition that works for you. Then your spirit or spirituality, whatever that means to you, it needs to be on point. Otherwise, you can't be the best version of yourself. Then of course comes your business and your finances, which are 2 separate circles, as we all know that you can be bringing in piles of revenue while your financial house is on fire. So all of these things truly running in harmony and balance will give you the peace of mind that you're after. Now, I promised you guys I'd break down how I managed to keep my work week under 40 hours, so here we go. The first step is you have to get your morning routine right. Read the book Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. The concept is simple. You need a morning routine that has you up early, exercising, learning, and being mindful before your competition even gets out of bed. The next thing you must implement is a routine or habit of doing the hard things first. So for many still in production, this will mean prospecting. Pick up the 10,000-pound telephone. Read the book Eat That Frog, and then next read The One Thing by Gary Keller, and you will understand the power of accomplishing your one big item first thing. That way you've already won the day before lunchtime. Afternoons tend to get crazy. We need to allow this to be the case. Good intentions of getting that hard thing done in the afternoon usually means it goes undone. The next big piece you must implement is a 12-week year. Read the book to truly understand the science behind this, but simply put, this is taking a 12-month business plan and condensing it into a 12-week action plan. It's based on Parkinson's law. Work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. One thing I really like about the 12-week year, since I like to move through time quickly, is that you actually get 4 years in each calendar year and 4 separate 13th week celebrations that you can use to counterbalance how hard you were working and focused for those 12 weeks. It gives you an opportunity to recalibrate once per quarter, either by taking a trip, which I like to do, or relaxing at home for a week while you plan your next tactical 12-week year. This has been a game changer for both myself, my family, and the team members at Vantage West, my real estate firm. So let's talk about an 80-hour work week. Now, people think that billionaires or CEOs of multiple billion-dollar companies must be working 80-hour work weeks. That's just not the case. What they are doing, however, is leading a prioritized day. They are doing only the high dollar productive activities per day, which means prioritizing in the mornings the critical few things that need to be done by them. Everything else is either delegated, deferred, or dumped. I mentioned before, the Miracle Morning Routine is the best time to plan your day, and a tool that I like is the Productivity Planner. I'm a huge fan of this particular planner as it forces you to identify your most important task of the day, then your secondary tasks, and then a couple of additional tasks that you will do if you have enough time. For most people, the most important, highly leveraged thing that you can do, the most dollar productive thing you can do, is keep your pipeline full. For me, keeping the pipeline full is still the highest priority item. I'll spend 2 hours a day either marketing or prospecting. What if I told you that anything less than $500 an hour tasks need to be done by someone else? For me, the math is simple. If I want to make $1 million a year and work less than 2,000 hours, then I need to be very committed to the idea that I must hold my time accountable to $500 an hour or more. Prospecting, as I mentioned before, will always meet this threshold, as 2 hours of prospecting time will typically yield an opportunity that's going to bring in over $10,000 in revenue. After that, another high dollar per hour activity is the time that you spend face-to-face consulting your clients. This does not mean running around and looking at 20 homes. You can delegate that. What I am talking about is the consultative process whereby you sit in front of your client and formulate a game plan for them. This is done in a formal buyer's appointment or a formal listing appointment, and I recommend both of those being at your office or a video conference. I do these meetings typically at either 2 p.m. or 4 p.m., often using the old "is 2 good or 4 better" alternate close that I learned in my first year of real estate. You can automate this as well by using a Calendly app and just leave those slots as your available times. For me, I have 4 slots a week, 2 on Tuesday and 2 on Thursday. That's it. The next high dollar productive activity that you'll engage in is negotiating on behalf of your clients. Become an expert at negotiations. This one skill will be something that causes people to refer you, respect you, and be willing to wait for you. When you can save someone a significant amount of money with your negotiating prowess, then I believe you deserve to have your weekends back. The last thing on your list that is still a great use of your time is problem solving. This is why you get paid the big bucks. You're the go-to person when a problem must be solved. Now there's an important distinction here. There needs to be a dollar limit to the problem before it should require your time. In the 4-hour work week, we're taught to empower the people that work for us to make decisions on their own, using their own judgment. The moment you empower somebody to make decisions, for example, say anything under $500 without calling you, is the moment that they become 10 times more valuable to you and you get hours of your day back. Now, I've touched on having staff, and I understand that many people listening to this probably do not have any staff yet. I want to emphasize the word yet, because the reality is if you do not have an administrator, you are an administrator. and administrators get paid tens of dollars per hour, not hundreds. Now, I have another video that you can watch on how to hire an assistant, and I will show you the exact system that I use to attract top talent. If you're concerned that you do not have the consistency in your revenue in order to afford an assistant, I will do another video that explains how an agent, either brand new in the business or someone that is in that 10 deals or less space year after year, can consistently achieve at least 2 sales per month, which will give you enough revenue to afford at least part-time help. Now I want to discuss the concept of counterbalance. I'm not sure it's totally possible to lead a balanced life in this business, but I do believe you can have your evenings and your weekends, no question. But to truly experience the lifestyle you're working so hard for, I think you need to adopt a sprint and recharge cycle. And this works really well with a 12-week year. You set your focus on a target for 12 weeks, develop a tactical plan, work like a bugger for 12 weeks, and then you take a week and do something for yourself. You do something to endear yourself to your partner, or do something with your kids, something that recharges your batteries. The point is, if you never stopped, I would suggest that you probably never went hard. This is important. You gotta put things in your schedule first before the business has a chance to take over. That means put in date night, put in your workouts, schedule the golf game, the powder days at the mountain, the weekend getaways, the staycations, the vacations, all of which need to go in the calendar first before the work week takes over. Yes, it is possible that you will miss out on a deal or two doing this, and you have to accept that. You cannot get every deal, and you cannot live your life worried about missing out on a sale and forget to actually live your life. Now, I do realize that sometimes in this business, urgent things come up. There are negotiations that will need to take place in the evening, sometimes even on the weekend. So what I would say to you is this: try to limit this whenever possible, but make sure that if you're going to make that withdrawal from your schedule, that you at least make the deposit later to even the score. That means if you're up till 9 p.m. negotiating an offer for Mrs. McKenzie last night, go ahead and treat yourself to a tennis match at 2 p.m. with a friend you haven't seen in a while. You deserve it. That's the counterbalance. Another pearl of wisdom that an early mentor of mine gave me was, he who figures out leverage first wins. Now I'm all about leverage, from technology to talent, and the one nice thing about our business is that there are always people who are eager to do the things that we may not be willing to do anymore. For example, there are many new agents, particularly young single agents, who are willing to trade their evenings and weekends for dollars. Now, in your office, I would expect that there would be a junior agent that would be more than happy to do showings for you at $150 per hour. This is actually what we do in our firm, and it allows us to have a licensed extension of ourselves. And that means open houses, evenings, weekend showings, inspections, whatever the case is, you can usually get somebody who's new in the business who would like a little bit of income to go and do those things for you from anywhere from $100 to $200 an hour. They're happy to gain the experience and to have a little bit of cash flow rolling in when they're in their early days. Now, every office has these newbies, so endear yourself to them, treat them well, and they'll appreciate you for it. Now, this does not need to add a huge cost of sale to every transaction. Remember, in a perfect world, you are the one dictating when showings happen. Use this leverage only for exceptions. When people are flying in for the weekend, or they have only weekends to look at homes, or you get a seller that insists on an open house. These are the times when you call in the newbies. Another tip, control the timeline when you're writing offers. Rather than leaving them open until midnight, indicating that you would like to spend your evening going back and forth playing the Arabian Bazaar game, why not set a deadline for 5 p.m., just like your lawyer or your accountant would? If you're receiving an offer from another agent who has the midnight deadline, feel free to change the acceptance time when you do your counter offer. Change it to something that respects your schedule. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about structuring your work week and giving it a little bit of padding. So my work week begins at noon on Monday, and I have a little ritual early Mondays where I like to work out, plan my week ahead, read a book, just take it pretty easy. I don't have morning meetings. This is still my personal time. This allows me, if I want to take a long weekend on a normal weekend, I have that flexibility because people know that I'm not going to be taking meetings before noon on a Monday. Now my work week ends at Friday, 2 p.m. This allows me to check out of work, have a round of golf, or maybe go out on the boat, or potentially have happy hour with a friend or a colleague. In either case, 2 p.m. in the afternoon is when the work week winds down. The rest of the week I shut my day down at 6:30 p.m. My evenings are for my family. It's important that I'm present and that I'm not on my phone while we're at dinner, and that I take the time to stay connected to my family and my wife. Now, I'm not perfect at this, but if I need to make an exception, it's only to handle what is truly urgent or truly time sensitive. I really hope you got a ton of value out of this info. I've created a free little PDF that you can grab that turns this into a bit of a system. Now, I believe you can take control of your schedule and design a lifestyle well worth living. I know many of you probably have a hard time shutting off your mind and differentiating between client time and family time. And I understand that you feel that guilt when you're spending time with your family, you feel like you're neglecting your business. And when you're spending time in your business, you feel like you're neglecting your family. And the main reason that you feel this guilt is because you haven't drawn the lines. You're always on. When you draw these lines in the sand and you time block and you respect those boundaries, the anxiety around where you should be or whether you're in the right place goes away. And that will be my wish for all of you. Thanks so much for watching. I know it was a long video. Appreciate you sticking with me. Download the swipe file if you'd like it. We'll see you again.